Welcome to SuiteWorld On Air 2021. We're glad that you've chosen to join us for our session. Supercharged delivery routing and POS in NetSuite. How new tech, cool customizations, and automation are driving big profits and super happy customers. I'm Barry Rickman, CEO of consulting company Modus ATL, and I'm your moderator for this session. This session is sponsored by NetScore Technologies. NetScore offers NetSuite customers a one-stop shop for seamlessly integrated applications that extend their NetSuite ERP functionality, as well as assist them in customizations and implementations. Aside from NetScore's delivery routing for NetSuite and POS for NetSuite that we'll be focusing on today, they also offer rental management, warehouse management, configure, price, and quote, and loyalty applications that are built for NetSuite. They also offer over 20 connectors to major web stores and online marketplaces. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce today's industry panel. First, we have Alex Liu, President of Restaurant Equipment Market. Alex's company uses NetSuite ERP and have since 2020 to run their retail and wholesale operations in the restaurant equipment industry, and has also seamlessly extended their technology with NetScore's natively built delivery routing and POS applications to automate their processes. And we also have Chris Bishop, a technologist and industry consultant from NetScore, who is actively working with a variety of NetSuite customers to help them with best practices to improve operational efficiency in their POS and delivery businesses. So gentlemen, welcome to the session. Today we'll be exploring the challenges companies are facing who provide delivery services and require POS in their retail stores. What application features and best practices can help make you more successful? And what are the real benefits to your business that you can expect and realize from implementing today's new technology-driven automations? So let's jump into our first question. Chris, what are some of the big challenges facing organizations who provide delivery services and who need POS in the retail stores?
Thanks for the question, Barry. That's definitely an interesting one that I think can be broken down into two different categories. So from a delivery standpoint, the groups of organizations that I work with that are actually managing their own delivery are also managing the logistics of the product, but also the distribution of the product as well. So some challenges that we're seeing in that space are being able to alert your customers in a timely fashion as to where their order is, expected delivery times, or delivery windows even. Another big challenge that I'm seeing in the delivery industry is the proof of delivery process. And it's pretty manual with some folks that I'm working with. You really wouldn't believe how many folks are still managing that through signing a piece of paper and trying to attach it to the right transaction in their system. Now, from an in-store POS experience, being able to quickly quote products, get real-time inventory visibility, and seamlessly book a sale is very, very critical. So those are some of the common challenges that I'm seeing nowadays.
Do these challenges resonate with you? And what challenges was REM experiencing that drove them to seek functionality to extend NetSuite ERP?
Definitely, especially with delivery. We were just using Google Word to manage our deliveries. And it was very much similar to how Chris described of attaching a proof of delivery to our particular transactions so that we could keep it on file. But with the delivery software, it really streamlined all of that.
Once you made the decision to extend NetSuite, what are some of the requirements that you had?
Yeah, when we were looking at POS solutions and delivery solutions, we were looking for something that would natively integrate with NetSuite ERP. And a lot of the solutions out there were either just overpriced or oversimplified, or didn't contain all the features that we were looking for. And even more so, a lot of the solutions out there, they don't natively integrate with NetSuite ERP. So you have to find a third-party connector and work through them, work through the actual software. There could be so many issues that arise from that type of connection. But with NetScore, it was all a native integration. We don't have to manually double key in a delivery that needs to be made. With the POS, it's just all real-time transaction data from POS to NetSuite. We don't have to wait a couple of seconds if we need to make a return. we're able to return it in NetSuite just as the POS transaction is finished. It's really a wonderful solution, and we're really happy.
Chris, what are the top must-have features that leading organizations with point of sale and delivery need so that they can align with today's best practices?
That's a great question, Barry. And I think the common theme or the main challenge that is really important to be addressed is making sure that these solutions natively integrate or integrate well with your ERP. I think if you're managing these two systems separately, POS and the ERP, it can require a lot of manual data input, data reconciliation, or just managing multiple systems. So some of the key features or must-have features that I've seen from a POS standpoint is being able to ensure that it's integrated with your ERP. From a delivery standpoint, again, that digitized POS, being able to capture on a phone or a tablet a signature from your delivery driver, from your customer, and having it attached to the correct transaction in the system automatically without any manual intervention. It's very important. On the delivery side as well, again, customer communication is very, very critical, and making sure that you're able to provide your customer updates at every step of the way with expected delivery times, delivery windows. And then another cool feature or delivery software is that the importance of loading the truck. Certain industries that might be working with heavier equipment or heavier machinery, if you load the truck incorrectly and put the first stop on the back of the truck, that can result in a lot of reorganizing or a lot of time lost throughout the day. So simple features like that are really able to drive a lot of efficiency within the space that we're working in.
Alex, since selecting NetScore, what product features have driven the greatest value for REM?
So when we were looking at POS solutions, and I've looked at maybe, I think, 7 different POS solutions, and NetScore definitely encompassed a lot of the unique features that we were looking for. Some of those include, essentially, we sell really heavy machinery, refrigerators, and customers need to pick up in the back of our store. So customers would go to our register to check out and say, I want to buy this refrigerator. And what NetScore does really well is you're able to tick off which item is being picked up later at the back of the store, so that it doesn't completely finish out the transaction right then and there at the POS, but you can still print a picking ticket for your warehouse folks to pull it and prepare it for the customer. That's one really unique feature that I didn't see any other POS solution out there capable of doing. Some of the other really neat features that NetScore ERP allows you to do is it integrates really well with NetSuite in terms of using credits and deposits on transactions. With other POS solutions, I don't think they have an integration where you're able to pull the credits on a customer account, the deposits on a customer account to apply it to a checkout. For delivery, we juggled between using Google Word document to manage our delivery fleet, but we also used another software solution that wasn't natively integrated with NetSuite ERP. And what we had to do was we had to give the sales transaction to a certain employee of ours for them to manually input the sales order number, the product, the delivery address, the customer phone number and name, and then set a delivery date, which was a very manual process, and we had to have a dedicated person to handle that for us. But with NetScore's delivery software, it removes the need for a double entry of all of those details on the sales transaction. And all you have to do is say, okay, this sales transaction, I want to deliver it next Tuesday. And all I have to do is assign it to next Tuesday. In addition, NetScore delivery also optimizes the route automatically. So if you have 3 deliveries that day, all going to separate directions, NetScore will automatically calculate the most efficient route that the driver would take. And whereas before we had to do that manually. Something else that's really neat that I really like about NetScore is it not only does delivery for your sales transactions, but say if you have a sales transaction with a purchase order attached to it, you need to pick up that item from the vendor first before delivering it to the customer. And that's a very neat solution that other softwares don't actually have the capability of doing. It's kind of like you throw it all into a pot, and NetScore delivery system is able to organize it, sort it, and then tell you the most optimal way to run that.
what would you say are the top 3 benefits that you've experienced? And how has the technology transformed your business?
How do I sum up something totally amazing in just a few words? The 3 biggest things for the NetScore, the competitiveness of the cost, all around features that this POS software has against the competition, and the how easy it is to work with the implementation team, not only on fixing our issues in a very prompt manner, but carrying out all of the requests that we had sent to them. With NetScore POS, what we think made this software solution essentially opened up a whole entire new marketplace for us. We're able to do cash and carry sales at a speed and volume that no competition out there can do, because we are able to handle maybe a 5-card checkout from one customer, instead of saying, oh, please hold on, and you have to use a scanner to scan an item into NetSuite, click on the next line item, and then scan an item. We can just scan an item, scan an item, scan an item, and just keep going at a very, very fast pace. So essentially, on the business level, I think it really opened up our cash and carry business operational speed and overall customer satisfaction level, with the lesser amount of time that they had to wait on a transaction being finished. For the delivery routing system, we think that essentially the 2 biggest takeaways were we don't have to manually input all of our information anymore, and it just saved us huge amounts of time in business and in human error that might be costly. And again, how easy and convenient it is to work with the implementation team.
Chris, for delivery services, how important is the ability to add customizations to a solution like this one to achieve the highest level of success?
Customization is really very important. It's not always true that organizations fit into a certain mold. We understand that we can categorize businesses based on distribution or manufacturing, but we also realize that there are specific processes in each individual business that make it unique. And it's very important that a software solution or a software provider that you're working with has the ability to not only recommend leading practices based on what they're seeing in the industry, but also be able to have the flexibility to know when customization is going to be required. And again, with that customization, what you're enabling yourself to do is capture the right data that you need and to be able to generate that into accurate, timely reports to make informed decisions about your business.
Alex, did you require special customizations?
Because of the complexity of our business and some of our needs, I started introducing them to a feature I mentioned earlier. You pay at the POS, but then you pick up later in the back of the store. So that would be a very unique solution that they didn't have before. But once we requested it, they not only built it for us, but I think they just built it as a standard solution across their platform. We essentially had 10 features that we were looking at that would be custom work. A bulk of it is now part of the standard POS package.
Chris, when companies with delivery services implement these new technologies, what should they expect in terms of return on investment?
It's important to understand where you're measuring success with these types of projects. I think one thing that's really critical in my experience working with these types of solutions is user understanding, acceptance, and adoption. When you're working in tandem with your team and when you're all bought into the idea of a new system coming in to drive efficiency, it can have a lot of downstream effects. From a POS standpoint, being able to decrease the counter time experience, so quickly processing a sale, quickly converting a quote to a sale, and capturing payment at the time of sale is very important. From a delivery standpoint, some of the benefits that we've seen customers experience are more along the side of being able to establish delivery zones and then service more customers as a result of formalizing that process, and then even cutting down on logistics expenses by route optimizing, understanding what is the most efficient path from A to B, cutting down on driver time, and also logistics expenses overall. So those are some of the benefits that we've seen, or that I've seen in my industry experience kind of working with these solutions.
Alex, what value or ROI did you all actually realize? Have you been able to quantify that value?
I think with NetScore ERP, within just the first couple of months, we definitely realized our ROI. With a lot of the other, I guess, competitors out there, they were either too simple solution that might be very inexpensive and you could realize your ROI, but you would be limiting a lot of your business functions, or you were paying way too much for a limited set of features, and it would take a lot longer to realize your ROI. But with NetScore POS, they are very competitively priced and also contain all of the features that one would hope and wish to have in their POS. I think it took only a few months for us to really feel that, yes, this was definitely a worthy investment for us. With the different applications, software applications that we were using from NetScore, essentially, I think we were able to replace 2 or 3 people having to manually input and manually transact a lot of our business operations into just either one person or no person at all. Before, we had to have one person dedicated to manually inputting delivery routes to our customer, but now we actually consolidated that role into one person who is also multitasking for our other business areas. So it eliminated the need for having just different roles dedicated to maintaining a business operation. We could just let the system run the automations, and we don't have to worry about that part anymore. On the POS side, in the past, we always had to manually input a deposit or payment record into NetSuite ERP. But with the POS, you could simply use the POS to put a deposit on a sales order that is existing inside of NetSuite. And I can't tell you, that saved enormous amounts of time. We don't have to manually put in deposits anymore. It automatically happens at the POS register. I would say that probably saves us at least 4 hours a day of someone's having to input that data and maybe potentially causing human error and messing up that data. I would say it was at least 75% more efficient than how we were operating our business previously, because of all of the time, error, and mistakes that could happen with all of the manual process. This truly felt like we're letting the system run instead of we're letting, I guess, humans run a certain process.
Any lessons learned that can benefit others?
So investing into NetScore delivery and POS it wasn't even whether this would give us enough ROI or not. It was how much ROI would it give us. You're spending maybe a couple of $1,000s on a software solution, but what you don't realize is you're spending maybe tens of thousands of dollars on a human aspect of the component in your business, whereas it could just completely be automated with a simple technology and software investment, which would also eliminate all of your human error that could potentially happen. It's something, as a business owner, you take a breath of fresh air because you don't have to worry about whether this person is trained up and detailed enough to key some orders incorrectly. And if they're trained enough to optimize the route more efficiently, you can have a peace of mind because you know that the software is not going to make any mistakes in processing this transaction for you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights. That's really good stuff. So, Chris, would you share with us how NetScore's automated POS solution works inside NetSuite? I think everyone would like to see this app for themselves.
Thanks, Barry, for passing it over. Now, let's take a look at NetScore's POS for NetSuite in action.
Now that you're logged in, you're able to sort or search for products via scanning a barcode, searching product groups or categories, or searching via product code or identifier. You can quickly add those items to your order. Once those items are added to your order, you can accept cash as a form of payment and print your customer's receipt with all relevant sales information. Now we can take that invoice number, reference it back in NetSuite, and pop it open. Here we'll see that this invoice has been marked as paid in full, and the appropriate inventory items are tagged to the transaction as well. In this Payments tab, you'll see that the payment status is deposited in full. Our longtime customer, David, has entered the store and is looking for some new furniture. One of our store associates can easily help him add those items to his cart and assist with the checkout process. David's noted that he would like to pay via deposit and put about $500 down in a deposit on this order. We're able to confirm that deposit, saved here, and jump into our order overview screen to pull up his exact sales order. Here we can see the advance amount or deposit amount as well as the remaining balance. His remaining balance of $588.40 can now be settled via paying in cash. You'll see that the correct change expected is noted on the screen here to help your store associates service their customers. Once we jump back into NetSuite here, you'll see the sales order tagged to David's account in the appropriate inventory is listed, as well as from a GL impact standpoint, you'll be able to see that his deposit has been applied and his invoice is now paid in full. In the related records tab, you'll be able to see the deposit application of $500 and remaining payment of $588.40. In our fulfillments overview screen, we can sort by fulfillment record or sales order record to help with the customer fulfillment process. Now, David's order has been pulled up. We'll see that he is picking up both of these items from our Manhattan Beach store. We have the inventory on hand. We're able to toggle to select these items and hit fulfill. We're even able to capture customer signature to ensure proof of pickup is captured. You'll see that this fulfillment record is now saved and created from the appropriate sales order. When we reference this back in NetSuite, you'll be able to see that this fulfillment record status has been picked up as David has been able to come into our store to pick it up. Now David is back in store and one of our sales associates is helping him look again for some new furniture. We're able to leverage item categorization or item grouping to help him search for these inventory items with the help of a sales associate. David wanted to get quoted on this particular piece of inventory. So we're able to search for the quote that we have helped build and pull that up here. You're able to see the items added to his quote and make any additions required. David has let us know that he would like some more outdoor chairs for his patio, and we can quickly make that happen, noting the type of inventory that David is adding to his order. Once confirmed, this will quickly update his original quote to include this new inventory that we have recently added. And just one more click, we'll be able to convert this quote into an order. David's paying an inexact change for this order via cash. Processing returns in NetScore POS can be done by the invoice or the sales order number. Just search for the number associated to that original transaction, and you'll be able to see if a return is eligible on the associated inventory. Here it is. So our wardrobe cupboard is eligible to be returned to our Los Angeles store. You're able to select a reason for the return, as well as provide the credentials of the salesperson that's actually handling the return to ensure that there is managerial or supervision oversight. Once the day is ended, we are able to count up the cash in the register, marking any bill denominations and making any notes necessary. And from here, you are able to close the POS for the day and jump back in things tomorrow to start again.
That's cool. Thank you for the demonstration. Chris, would you also show us what NetScore's automated delivery application looks like in NetSuite and maybe a few of the features?
Let's take a look at how NetScore's delivery routing system for NetSuite is able to manage your own fleet of in-house delivery trucks. Here in our Reminders tab, you can see any undelivered orders, any orders that need to be delivered, and any return authorizations created by your driver. The orders assigned dashboard will display any orders that are assigned to your drivers. The order allocated per route will show which orders on which route have been assigned to Stefan, who is one of your drivers. You can enable or disable different features, including purchase order pickups, accepting payments at delivery, accepting returns, being able to capture signature images, and even making signature mandatory. We've also got alerts built into the system for customer communication when a driver is on the way, being able to proactively let them know that you will be arriving at their location ahead of time. This is a default messaging template. You can see integration with SMS as well as WhatsApp can be enabled through using this solution. Now, if we navigate to zone setup, zones are a great way to build out your delivery area based on different criteria. In this instance, we have built out an east zone based off of certain zip codes to be able to segment out which drivers are delivering which orders on which routes. Now, navigating to truck setup, you can see that each individual truck has a weight and a volume capacity. During the packing process, these capacities are taken into consideration to ensure that orders can fit on the delivery vehicle that you're using. Now, let's get to the assignment process. We are looking at any deliveries being fulfilled from our New York location. You're able to select delivery date as well as the ship method, and any zones can be selected as well. You can select manually any individual item fulfillment record, aka order, that needs to be dropped off. You can also select all, and again, you'll see truck weight capacity here as well as the selected weight for the orders that are on this truck. Taking into consideration those capacities, we can see that the selected weight is well below the capacity. So this should be all set to assign these orders to Stefan. Navigating back to your home page here, you'll see on the orders assigned dashboard and the orders allocated route that this information is pulling in real time, updating Stefan's route as well as the orders on that route for the day. This map is an overview of the entire route, including the starting point as well as the 6 associated stops. Now, for the folks in the warehouse, this is particularly useful because you can print out this delivery route planning and to ensure that the truck is packed a proper way. With this delivery route plan document, you're able to have your warehouse team efficiently pack each delivery truck with the first order that will be delivered last on the truck. This is particularly useful for folks that are selling heavy equipment or things that can be challenging to move around in the truck. Back from our navigation bar, we can track any delivery driver's location. Since we're a global organization, you can see that there are a number of trucks delivering across the world today. We can zoom in specifically and see these 2 folks in Manhattan. There's Stefan on his delivery route. Now, the solution we've seen up to this point has been based in the dispatcher role for those of us in the office helping organize the routes. What we'll take a look at now is what the driver in the field is seeing. We'll be logging in with their credentials, selecting a particular day and a delivery area, in this instance supporting our New York location, and we can see the 6 orders that need to be delivered today on Stefan's route. If you click into any order itself, you will see the item as well as quantity that needs to be delivered. You can quickly click to call your customer, letting them know that you'll soon be there. You can also send a message here via text. Jumping back into your NetSuite home screen, you can see your reminder portlet has been updated. With delivery routing orders delivered, you will be able to see that Stefan has dropped off these iPhone cables to Brad, and in the delivery routing tab of the item fulfillment, you will be able to see all of the POD information, timestamp, pictures associated, any instructions, who your delivery driver was, who it was dropped off to, truck type, a lot of valuable information in here. With NetScore's delivery routing solution for NetSuite, you're always able to ensure that your customer, your dispatcher, and your driver are in constant communication, and your customer is expecting that their order be delivered in a timely fashion.
That's a truly seamless integration with NetSuite. Thank you for that demonstration. Automating your POS and delivery routing processes pays big dividends in improved efficiency that can drop dollars to the bottom line, in reduction of errors that result from spreadsheets and other manual processes, in real-time reporting that helps you make better decisions for your business, and in overall higher customer satisfaction that can differentiate you from the competition. That will be our final word. On behalf of NetScore Technologies and our speakers today, this is Barry Rickman. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you will enjoy the rest of SuiteWorld On Air 2021. And if you have additional questions, we encourage you to reach out through NetScore's website at netscoretech.com.